So, continuing to talk about self-image, which we get trapped in. A lot of us get very, very comfortable knowing or feeling that we know who we are. But in actuality, we don't. We don't know. So how do we find that out? How do we find out who we are? Well, the first step in changing anything in life is to become aware and conscious of everything around you and how you feel about your environment and how you feel about your life. Start there. And then ask yourself, how do I really see myself? Apart from how I think I see myself, how do I really see myself? How do I appear to the world? Then start asking friends. I mean, it may be a little uncomfortable to begin with, but you say, hey, describe me to me. You know, somebody might respond like, what do you mean? But you say, no, I'm trying something. I want to figure out something. If you just met me, or if you just knew me a short time, describe me to me. What do you see? How am I? Who am I? What do you think of me in the world as a person, as a friend, as a co-worker, as a worker, as an actor? Be honest with me. Tell me the truth. Don't be careful. Just tell me the truth. And then you can ask your family, people you grew up with. They may be a little prejudiced. They may even hold the same kind of self-image that you're holding. But ask them anyway. Your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. Say, how do you see me? At first, they might even kind of find it as a humorous question and joke with you. But if you nail them down and say, no, really, how do you see me in the world? If you were to describe me to somebody else, be very specific. How would you describe me? And then you go to an objective place. I'll tell you a short story about me, personal. I grew up in a family of adults. I was the last child. The closest sibling was my sister Helen, and she was 11 and a half years older than me. My oldest brother could have been my father. He was 20 years older than me. So I grew up in an adult environment, and my brothers, particularly the oldest brother, was very critical. Called me names, called me a moron. I thought my middle name was Moron for years. And so I got into therapy, I dealt with a lot of stuff, but it really was the foundation of a great deal of damage to my self-image. I used to call, years ago, well, not so years ago, I used to call myself, I had a name for me, Freddie from Chicago. My original name is Freddie, so Freddie from Chicago, that's where I'm from. And that self-image kept me from being happy, for one, but it kept me from achievement. It kept me from being able to function. It made me feel handicapped. I never really learned to read well because of it, had a reading handicap, and I could go into a multitude of ways that it damaged me. It was horrifically damaging. Well, Freddie from Chicago was always speaking to me on my left shoulder when I would try to do something, and Freddie would whisper into my ear, say, well, come on, you can't do that. Where do you get off thinking you could do something like that? This kind of thing Freddie would say to me. So, stop right now and say, okay, I get all of that. That's the story, and I'm not there right now in my life. My self-image is quite different because of the objectification, therapy, years of therapy, and years of personal self-work. Freddie from Chicago no longer is an influence or a negative influence in my life. How did I do that? Well, I objectified my life. I'm pretty successful. I've written 9 books. I've been teaching acting for almost 59 years. I had a career as an actor, did a lot of work as an actor. And I have a following all over the world. I have an international reputation, and I'm celebrated. Now that's the truth. This is not ego. This is fact. But that objectivity is what changed a damaging image that kept me from being successful. And I think probably as an actor, I would have been much more successful if it wasn't for Freddie. But that's the breaks. Instead, I got this part of me, and I'm very happy with what I've done with my life. I'm happy with my body of work, and I'm happy with my accomplishments, and I'm no longer functioning as a result of a damaging self-image. You can do that for yourself too. Well, thank you for watching. Now, if you've enjoyed these videos, tell a friend. And for more information about videos, my books, my classes, go to my website, www.ericmorris.com. And until next time, this is Eric Morris saying, no acting, please.